Howdy. My quest about sulfur is continuing, and I have been making several videos about sulfur. Finnish copper might have its origin on Venus or from the interaction with it. Originally, I planned to make one video, then I made 6, and now there's some 21 videos, and there's I've been writing a bunch of letters in a row, and I was actually about to write, but this thing is very intriguing because one of the main reasons is that there isn't any real volcanic activity here in Finland. At least not as many people understand volcanic activity with red glowing lava and these kind of things. There might be some other kinds of volcanoes here. They are rather cold, let's put it like that. But anyway, so the thing is that there is copper here, and copper is very strongly related to sulfur. The question is, where did it come from? How do we have this stuff here? Because we have to also notice one probably important fact, that these occurrences are more or less in the top layer. They are not, of course, they go deep down, but they are also on the top, like as I have been showing this molten metal on top of rocks. So I just came to the conclusion the reason or the mechanics behind the occurrences here about from copper and sulfur, the origin might be rather from above than from below. Okay? So now let's just watch part of one of my videos, which is really sketchy. I don't really like to listen to myself. It's really odd. Rather, really odd. But anyway, let's just go quickly into that. Degrees. Now this is the interesting part. As a solid, sulfur is a characteristic lemon yellow. When burned, which has a blue flame, sulfur melts into blood red liquid and emits a blue flame. So obviously, you don't need a flame to do that. You can put it in the microwave and get the same result, or somewhat the same result. So now we have the polar cusps, we have the surface conductivity anomaly in Finland, which influences local weather. We have copper mines all over the place. We have the plasma rocks with molten metal on top of them. We have those very deep red bedrocks at the copper mine in Outokumpu. Now let's go on a bit forward. And let's have a quick listen into that.
Seeking out the general patterns of the Mesoamerican Venus as serpent dragon, we cannot fail to observe that our listed cometary symbols are not just present, but prominent, that they are enigmatically but self-evidently connected, that they do not direct us to any present forms either in the sky or in the natural world today. Rather, they all contradict all natural forms at every level, and that they remain unexplained, despite decades of microscopic examination by the best experts. One conclusion is inescapable, even if interpretations will differ. The Mesoamerican symbolism of the planet Venus in the planet's guise as a serpent dragon or chaos monster is a compendium of globally recognized comet symbols, representing in one mythical form all 5 of the most frequently employed cometary glyphs. Yet in more than 40 years since Velikovsky's Worlds in Collision, no mainstream scholar has even acknowledged this stunning fact. Of course, no modern science has ever justified the lines of Shakespeare cited above, or the Aztec image of a comet-like weapon in the form of a fiery dragon. But our appreciation for the symbolism changes dramatically once we entertain a new possibility that in earlier times, mankind experienced a far more spectacular and devastating comet than ever experienced in more recent times. A cometary archetype that could fully account for the later symbols. It was said of the great fire serpent, Wyatt, that it spewed forth comets. That is exactly the language we should expect if Wyatt was not just a comet, but the parent of comets.
So, as I explained in other videos, Venus, its atmosphere, contains quite much sulfur. The solar wind also contains sulfur. There has been sulfur found on comets very far away from Earth. And just yesterday, I found something. Someone was sharing a video with me, and I was watching the video. And after some time, I figured out to watch the comments because they seemed to be interesting. And there was one comment about Wyatt and some investigation he made in Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, let me share you a quick part of what I found when I followed this one guy's name and Sulfur. So that's Wyatt, and I think he passed. I'm not too sure, but I think he passed. I just learned about him yesterday, so I don't really know much about him. But anyway, he is discussing Sodom and Gomorrah. Now let's have a look of what he found.
Exceeding 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. This stuff crumbles to powder in your hands, sticks to your clothes. It's just pure ash. But it was, I guess, 1988. Mary and Elle and I were out there, and she found this chunk of ash that had been broken open, and inside it there was a little cavity that looked just unbelievably like an eyeball. So we were kind of puzzled about that. But about a year later, we actually found sulfur balls, these spheres of sulfur, and where they had completely burned up, there was a cavity very similar, to this one that Mary and Elle had found a year before. Okay, we're down at Sodom and Gomorrah still. Right in front of you, you see some unusual looking spots on this, shall we say, layer of ash. It's not stone, it's ash. Now we'll move in for a close-up of this. And you can see that they're kind of circular shaped places. Now what we have found, and we'll move in a little closer here, is that inside each of these is sulfur. That is in most of them. Now the ones that do not have sulfur in them, and this one we just took a bunch of sulfur out and put it in our specimen bag. But the ones that don't have sulfur have a very black center where they have, where it's been very hot. So now we'll move in on this one where there is some sulfur still present, and back off just enough so you can see what we're up to here, and we'll go collect that sample in a bag. Before I started using this knife, it was very, very sharp. Okay, here this is, and we have collected some more, and it smells and tastes like sulfur, but we will have it analyzed.
You know, it was raining brimstone. There was lightning and other things like that. And it's also for me very interesting. Now, I wouldn't say creepy, but nonetheless, finding something like this after making my own videos about the sulfur here, and now we have this other place, Sodom and Gomorrah, where they found this kind of sulfur in the rocks. And for me, it's just very hard to believe that these features in those rocks got created by a volcano or plate tectonics. It makes just somehow much more sense to just believe what the ancients are telling us. It was raining brimstone, sulfur. And the origin of it might have been Venus. Or it could have been also some CME from the sun or something like that. But it came from above and not from below. Yeah. I think this doesn't contradict with what I have been talking about in recent weeks or months or something. Or what I have been writing down and still writing down. That's all very interesting. Yes, I was about to write, but now I just made this video because it's just very interesting. Very interesting. But anyway, thank you. Bye.